So let's begin in a child's pose. Arms can be forward, back. Anyway, you can have your forehead resting on a block.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you come down to the mat and you realize that your neck feels like it's straining, just slide this under like this. And you can start with your arms kind of passive or more active. Either way works. And just connect to a nice slow inhale and then a deep, loud exhale. Feel your lower back spread. Yeah. And just settle in here for a few cycles of breath as your body and your mind just kind of come down a little. So it's like a rise and then a fall of this practice. So enjoying each aspect of it. Good. If the arms are back, you can slide them forward. Spread the palms and just feel the lift of the forearms. So the arms start to get a little bit more active. The sides of the triceps begin to squeeze in. Good. And the next exhale breath, just slide your block forward if it was there. Press up onto all fours. You're going to curl your toes into the mat. Sink the spine down and look forward. And then exhale, hollow out your abdominal wall, round the spine deeply, look in. Try it again. Inhale, sinking spine down and looking forward. Exhale, rounding and looking in. Again, inhale, sinking spine down and looking forward. Exhale, rounding and deeply looking in. Come to a flat back tabletop position, lift the knees an inch from the ground, and then slowly start to lift up to your first downward facing dog. Pedal it out a little here, maybe take a couple little dog walks, as we like to call it. Check in with the placement of your hands. Make sure that they're, about the width of the mat, maybe a little bit more narrow, depending on you. Index fingers are facing forward, creases of the wrists are facing forward. And then look back at your feet and spread your toes really wide across the mat. That's going to just get the front of the shins to get a nice lift. And we'll do some good hip stuff today and get in there. Right. Settle in here and just see if you can hold your down dog for a few good breaths. Okay. Feel your outer triceps grip in and breathe your hips way up off your shoulders. Yeah, plug down your thumb, your index finger, your baby finger. Nice and active. Body is just feeling and taking up space here this morning. Nowhere that we need to go. We're just here in the practice doing what we can. Let's roll forward to a plank position. I know from my dog to my first plank, I need to walk it out a little. Yeah, so stack it up nicely here. So your shoulders over elbows, elbows over wrist. Your belly draws into the back of the spine. Fire up your quadriceps, your inner and outer thighs, hug in your ankles to the center line, and then draw your weight all the way forward so the crown of the head really extends forward. Fix your eyes on one spot. Yeah. Take another big breath in. Drop your knees down. They're going to go in an angle today, just like this. Lift your ankles up and cross them. Lower halfway to a supported push-up. Keep your neck very neutral. Let your shoulders slide down your back. Re-straighten your arms to a plank. Lower the feet down. Lift the knees to your back in traditional plank position. Hips up and back, down dog. Roll forward, plank position. Lead with your heart and chest. Drop your knees down in an angle. Kick your heels up. If you can remember which ankle you cross, good luck with that. Cross the opposite. Lower halfway to a supported push-up. Pause in the push-up. Re-straighten your arms to a supported plank. Yep. Drop your feet down. Lift your knees so you're back in a plank. Lift your hips up and back, down dog. Breathe your right leg up and back to a three-legged down dog. Don't open your hip. Come forward and hug your right knee in towards your navel. Arms are straight up and down. Land your right foot all the way forward and through. Be on your fingertips. Feel the activeness of that back left leg. And then spring to the top, feet hips width distance. Long spine on the inhale. Hands, of course, can rest on the shins if this works better. Exhale, fold into yourself. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag it to prayer. Drop your arms. Arms go straight up towards the sky. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Long spine to prepare. Take a big, yummy step back with your right leg. Plant your palms, left foot joins, plank. Drop your knees on an angle, kick your heels up, pick a cross of the ankles and lower halfway to supported push-up. Re-straighten your arms to a supported plank. Drop the knees down, the feet down, lift the knees, plank position, hips up and back, down dog. Breathe your left leg up and back, three-legged down dog. Don't open your hip. Come forward and hug your left knee in and up, scoop up the belly. Land your left foot forward and through. Be on your fingertips for a beat. Feel the strength of that back leg. Yeah. Spring to the top of the mat. Long spine on the inhale. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag the hands to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. Arms go straight up. Keep moving. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Long spine to prepare. Left foot takes a big step back. Yeah, plant your palms, right foot joins, plank. Halfway to a push-up. Drop your knees if that works best. Up dog or cobra as you slide your fat body through this burst first back bend. Press even through your hands, the tops of the feet. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. Let your head go. Look where you want to go. You can step or float. You pick, top of mat. Long spine, keep your weight forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag it to prayer. Drop your arms. Arms go up, keep going. Dive in half. Let your head go. Long spine to prepare. Step, step to plank. Halfway to a push-up. Up dog or cobra. Pick what feels best in your body. Hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Each one gets a little better, at least we hope so. Center of your heels melting towards the ground, even though it may not touch. Arms stay active. Look where you want to land. Step or float, top of mat. Long spine on your inhale. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag it to prayer. Drop your arms. One more. Arms go up. Dive in half over bent knees. Let your head go. Long spine to prepare. Step, step. If you're floating to a push-up, you must land in a push-up, not a plank. Up dog is smooth. Hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Breathe your right leg up and back to a three-legged down dog. Come forward and hug your right knee in and up. Scoop up the belly. Land your right foot forward and through. Drop the back knee on an angle. Keep the left hand down. I'm going to tent it. You can always slide a block underneath too. The right hand is going to come to the crease of your right hip, okay? So take your thumb and slide your thumb into the crease of that right hip area. Good. Keep your thumb there for a second and just kind of put a little bit of pressure and just pause like this. So if reaching the left hand down doesn't work, definitely slide a block so it would look more like that, okay? Keep the back toes curled into the mat. Just stay like this, 2 more breaths. Just feel whatever you're feeling. You should feel stretch to the back left thigh. That's the psoas. Put a little bit more pressure of your thumb into that crease of that hip. And now keeping everything as it is, just begin to engage that back knee. Stay. Thumb presses into the crease of that hip. Yes. Arm reaches forward like this. Thumb is still hugging in there. Start to rise on the breath, the left arm up, the right thumb pressing into the crease of the hip, pressing that hip down. Then the right arm extends to the sky. Gaze fixing forward. You can always soften the back knee if you need to. Heavy in that front thigh. Always remind yourself you don't want the weight in your knee. You want to let the thigh bone kind of slide back into the hip socket. 2 more breaths. Just fix your eyes. Hands to frame your front foot. Pause. Keep your right foot where it is. Just turn your back foot on a strong angle. I don't know why my mat feels slippery today. It's so bizarre. Right thumb again into the crease of the hip because that hip likes to wing out. Left arm extends forward. So you're just kind of hovering over that front thigh, reminding your right hip that it's got to kind of tuck in. And as you rise, left arm up, thumb pressing into the crease of the hip, thigh bone down, and then right arm up towards the sky. Yeah. If the hands want to gather to a prayer up towards the ceiling, that's great. If this impinges on the shoulders, take the hands a little wider. Spin the left ribs forward. The outer blade of your left foot presses firm. Your right hip continues to hug in. So kind of envision that hand pressing there, that thumb. Yeah. Hands to frame your front foot, plank position. Let's lean on the left hand while we're here. Modify with the knee down if you prefer. Modified side plank is a great way to take this. Regular side plank if you're feeling ambitious. You could float your right leg up. You could bend that leg in half. You can grab that foot. I'm going to go with this today. A little modified with a little back bend. Yeah. Look sideways, look up. Take another breath in. It's not a long hold here. We'll have an opportunity in a little bit to take this again. Release any binds. Look to the floor, right hand down, plank position. Halfway to a push-up. Up dog is smooth. Hips up and back, downward facing. Breathe your left leg up and back to a three-legged down dog. Don't open your hip. Keep everything neutral. Come forward and hug the knee in and up. Scoop up the belly. Land the left foot forward and through. Drop the back knee on an angle. Keep the toes curled if you can. Fire up that thigh. The right hand's going to stay down on the floor or maybe a block if you can't reach the floor. You'll be able to see better here, hopefully. My thumb is going into the crease of my left hip, okay? I'm going to keep it here for a little bit. I'm going to apply a little bit of pressure. It's almost like a little massage, okay? Steer the chest forward. Just be patient and hold here. Lead a little with your chest. Good. Keeping that thumb pressing in here. Back leg is going to now activate. So my hand staying down on the floor, my left hand in the crease of my left hip. Now keeping all this, the right arm now reaches forward. It starts to get a little bit more challenging as you pull away from the ground. Then you start to come up. My hand still pressing into the crease of that hip to remind myself that this hip needs to go down. Right side of the body is engaged, reaching up. Then the left arm extends to the sky. So just taking things in steps this morning. Hip points move forward, heavy in that front thigh, and then fire up your breath. Bend a little deeper into the thigh bone. Activate that back leg a little bit more. Hands to frame your front foot. Pause. Turn your back foot on a strong angle. Keep the right hand down for a moment here. Left thumb again into the crease of that hip. Just going to remind that hip to kind of pull back and under. And then the right arm is going to reach forward. The entire right side of the body has to wrap forward. And then as I start to rise, my right arm up, my thumb pressing down, hip down. And then I gather that left arm up. Maybe the hands come to a soft prayer, like a little off-centered. Right rib spin, a little bit more tension onto that back foot, and then sit a little deeper. Another big breath in, feel. Hands to frame that front foot. I'm going to drop my right knee. I'm going to go right into this modified side plank. Regular side plank if you're feeling beautiful and bold here in this pose. Bend at that top knee. I'm going to give myself a little stretch of that psoas, just kind of release it all. Reminding you when you take side plank, your right hand is a smidgen out in front of that right shoulder just to give you that support. On every exhale breath, opportunity to go deeper. Release the arm and the leg. Slowly flying your way back to a plank. When you land in plank, add in the appropriate push-up. Follow it up with a great back bend of choice. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. Look where you want to go. Step or float, top of mat. Long spine on the inhale. Exhale, fold. Let's hit these hard and fast. Chair pose, sit deep, weights in your heels. Yeah. So before we move on, slide both your thumbs into the creases of those hips and give yourself this manual adjustment, like hip bones kind of down and back. Yes. Keep that and then shoot up to stand up. So just feel those hip points, because when you move, everything has to be aligned, okay? Arms go straight up towards the sky. Envision those thumbs pressing to those hip creases, and now sit. Yeah, sit into chair. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Long spine sets you up. Step, float, skip, fly, chaturanga. Up dog is smooth. Hips up and back, down dog. We're just going to kind of cruise through these guys. Right foot forward, back foot turns, rise, warrior one, come up for a beat. Yep, and then bring it back down and add in your vinyasa. If you're not into the push-ups or the back bend, you just go to dog, you hold for an extra breath. Then the left foot lands, back foot turns, rise. Back down we go through our version of vinyasa. Up dog, hips up and back, downward facing. Arms stay nice and straight. Look where you want to go. Step or float, top of mat. Long spine on the inhale. Exhale, fold. Heavy in your heels. Let's hit chair. Feel the weight in your heels. Shoot up to stand up. Drag it to prayer. Drop your arms. Keep going. Arms go up. Sit deep. Chair. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Long spine to prepare. Step, step, float. Vinyasa. Up dog is smooth. Hips up and back, down dog. Right foot lands, back foot turns, rise on your breath, warrior one. Back down we go through a chaturanga. Upward facing. Hips up and back, downward facing. Left foot lands, back foot turns, secure with that back leg. Back down we go through a push-up. Upward facing, hips up and back, down dog. Opportunity to catch up right here. Soften a little behind your knees. Good. Keep your arms nice and straight. Look where you want to go. Step or float, top of mat. Long spine on the inhale. Exhale, fold. Heavy in your heels for chair. Yeah, you could take chair with your feet a little separated too. Shoot up to stand up. Drag it to prayer. Drop your arms. One more. Here we go. Arms go straight up. Heavy in your heels for chair. Deep chair pose. Stick your butt way back. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Long spine to prepare. Step, step, float. Vinyasa. So you can add in extra push-ups if you feel like it. Hips up and back, down dog. The right foot lands, the back foot turns. Here we go with excitement, warrior one. Back down we go through a chaturanga. Smooth back bend. Meet me in a down dog. Left foot lands, back foot turns. Let's rise. Back down we go, chaturanga. Upward facing. Hips up and back, downward facing. Hold down dog, few breaths. Let your shoulders move away from your ears. You're doing a good job with that. Plug down with your thumb, your index finger, your baby finger. And breathe your hips high, high, high up off your shoulders. Keep your arms super straight. Look where you want to go. Step or float, top of mat. Let's get there light. Long spine, keep your weight forward. Exhale, fold. Sit into chair, weight moves into your heels. Yeah. Drag your hands to prayer at heart. Inhale your breath. Let's hook and go to the right, okay? Let's shake chair twist early here and kind of get it out of the way. Weight moves into your heels. You want to align yourself. Your feet, your shins, your knees, your hips, all set up nicely like a box, like you're sitting on a box. Point your right elbow to the sky or open up your arms. Look sideways, look up. Ujjayi breath. Inhale through your nose to the back of the throat. Exhale through the nose to the back of the throat. Keep the weight transferring back into your heels. Pull around to chair. Secure your chair. As you press to stand, float your right leg up to a 90-degree angle so it looks like this. So the right leg lifts to a 90-degree angle. The arms are moving straight up. Take your hands and grab below the right kneecap. Squeeze the right leg up, flex the right foot. Just stand, holding your right leg. If you can hook your big toe today, hook your big toe. Your left hand comes to your hip. This could be where you stop. Now, the goal here is to stand up really tall. If you can extend your right leg forward, extend your right leg forward. Mine's not going to go pin straight, so I'm just going to set it up with a bend behind it. But I'm going to really work on the alignment of the rest of my body. The left arm can slide straight up towards the sky. Think of those hip points, letting them kind of slide down. The growth of this pose happens from the left side, so grow big. Soften the shoulders down the back. Keep your right leg moving forward, guys. Don't let it drop. Hand to the outside of your foot or outside of knee. I'll demonstrate that as you go into a twist here. Look sideways or start to look back into that right hand. This is called dancing Shiva. Stand up a little taller. Press firm through that standing left leg. Pull around to center. The arms stay up, the leg stays lifted, okay? Cross the right ankle over the left thigh and let's sit. Let's sit way back into this chair and lean way out. Then I'm going to take my hands onto these blocks. I'm going to give myself a hip stretch. So I decided to do this first so we can get nice and open in this hip. Yeah, before we move on to other poses, it's going to feel a lot better. So you could play with the display of how high the blocks need to be depending on how tight you are. So think of chair, making a figure 4 and flexing your right foot strong around the outside of that left tricep. One thing to keep in mind though in this pose is that you want to keep your chest open. So if you're like dumping yourself down, lift the blocks higher so you can breathe your chest forward. It's going to really help with oxygen just kind of moving through the body. Keep steering your hips back. We're staying a little longer because I think we need it. Yeah. Awesome job. So to get out of a pose, come out slow. Take your hands to your hips. Hug the right leg in and up, and then lower it to the floor and just stand for a beat. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. So we're going to do it all again on the other side, and you'll be so happy when it's done. Arms go straight up. Sit heavy in your heels for chair. My feet are a little separated from my chair. I'm just finding it a little better for lower back. So experiment. Hands to prayer, inhale, and then like exhale, we'll twist. So with the way my camera's set up, I can actually see here that my alignment is okay. So that's what we're going for. The feet, the shins, the knees, the hips are all aligned. It is almost like I'm sitting down on a box. My left elbow points, my heart can spin open and I can look sideways and then up. Connect to your breath and stay with it. Spine is long. Twisting is above the belly button. The little baby ribs are twisting. 2 more. Pull around to chair. Really secure your chair. As you press to stand, the left knee draws in and up. Grab below the kneecap and hug that leg in. So first get your balance and kind of feel where you're at. Stay with this. This is cool. You just stay here and work on balance. It's basic, but it's safe. Take the left big toe with the peace finger and the index finger and begin to hinge that leg forward. Right arm can extend up. The leg that's going forward can have as much bend to it as it needs. The right side of the body is where the power is. Soften the shoulder down the back, draw the belly in. Keep that leg moving forward, switch the grip. So the outside of the foot, dancing Shiva, left arm peels back. Doing this with a bent knee, totally fine. You want to look sideways, start to look back into that hand. All your weight should be neutral. Straight up and down with your body. Keep the lift of the leg, guys. I'm going to bend my left leg in half, but bring my arms straight up towards the sky. So I'm just going to create support, 90-degree angle with the arms moving up. And then the left ankle is going to cross. I'm going to start to steer my hips back. and sit, 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 leaning way out. So if you need to kind of manually adjust, sometimes the foot needs to kind of push a little to the left. Set yourself up for ankle to knee here. Yeah, steer your hips back. Yeah, and remind yourself of what I told you about the chest staying nice and open. That's why a lot of times they're just like everyone's so interested in getting down so they can move into the arms balancing. It's really about setting up the alignment, making sure your heart stays open here. If you can flex your foot around the outside of that right tricep, you're going to feel a little more. I mean, I feel plenty. I don't know about you. Feeling a whole lot. Stay with it. Couple more breaths. Great. So to get out of the pose, don't be in such a rush. Easier said than done. Come up nice and slow, hands to hips. Left leg swings forward first, and then lower it down and just stand. Stand for a moment. So I'm just going to change things a little bit here. Okay. Standing with feet, hips width distance. Slide your left leg back about 3 feet. Mm-hmm. Right hand on hip, left arm extends up. You're going to come halfway down. Use that whole thumb action again into that hip to kind of steer that hip back, and then come the rest of the way down. And we're going to take a twisting triangle right now. Yeah. Stack it open. Yeah. Right arm up, totally up to you. Hand can just come to the flat part of the back. This gives you a lot of information, like what's happening. Is my body aligned? Feel like someone's got you by a bungee cord and they're pulling your hips to the back edge of the mat. Anchor that back foot, lengthen the spine more, and twist. Another big breath in. Right hand to the floor. Yep, just spring to the top, feet hips width distance. Long spine on the inhale. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag it to prayer, drop your arms. My feet are about hips width distance. Step the right foot back. It's like a short warrior one. Left hand on the hip, right arm extends up. I'm going to take this thumb and I'm going to kind of pull my hip flesh back, come halfway down. I'm going to encourage that hip to keep moving back. And then I'm going to come down into the twisting triangle. Right. So then if the left arm can stack open, that's great. It's like side plank arms. Doesn't always happen. Sometimes your shoulders are sticky. That sounds funny. Breathe your heart open, look sideways, look back. A lot of energy towards that back leg. The front leg can have a little soft bend. Check in with the shoulder. For most of us, the bottom shoulder likes to rotate in. So higher on the block is going to help you out. Yes. Stay with this. Couple more breaths. Twist a little deeper. Hands to frame your front foot. This time step to a dog. Mm-hmm. Roll forward to plank. Halfway to a push-up. Peel yourself through a smooth back bend of choice. Hips up and back, downward facing. Step your right foot smack in between your hands. Turn your back foot on a strong angle. Let's cartwheel up into warrior two. Yeah. So after doing that whole little sequence, hopefully this warrior two feels a little bit more, open. So stack it open here. We're going to hold for a bunch of breaths. Wrap that inner right knee open. Mm-hmm. Yeah, soften the shoulders down the back, lengthen the tailbone, and then maybe close your eyes and just let yourself feel the power of the pose, the simplicity of the pose, and the strength that you can create just from holding. Sit deeper. Keep the shape, reach way out, and you're going to slide your hand to the outside of the foot. So what I would recommend is taking your block and placing it up high or maybe medium. Okay, and then the left arm's going to stack open. For some reason, this doesn't work this morning. Your arm to the top of the thigh is a great option. I'm going to actually go high. I'm going to knuckle the hand or have the palm flat. Top arm can wrap up and forward if you want a little more. If your arm is kind of crunching in front of your face, you know you've gone too far. Your right hip has to grip in. Your bottom ribs have to turn. And then you breathe through it's comfortably uncomfortable. Stay with it. Three more breaths. If your arm wrapped forward, slide it straight up, okay? Look to the floor. Both hands are going to come down to frame your front foot. The left heel is going to peel around so you're in a low lunge. Come to your fingertips. You're going to spring to the top and cross the left ankle in front of the right. Have your blocks nearby if you're tight. The baby toes are together. The heels are apart. Long spine on the inhale breath. Exhale, fold over your legs. You may have to bend your knees. If you want a little more, you can kind of creep over to the right just a little bit, but keeping your hips nice and even. Let me see how you did with that. Yeah. So I notice in this pose for a lot of people, you don't want to sit back in your heels. You really want to focus on keeping your weight forward. So in order to do that, there's two things that you could do. You can bend your knees, right? Or you could slide blocks underneath your hands and bring the floor up to you. So just play with that so you know you're not going into the insertion point of your hamstring and just kind of getting the right spot. Yep, stay with it. Couple more. Good. If you went to the right, come back to center, okay? Before you go anywhere, okay? Take your block on its highest setting or the medium setting off the edge of the right baby toe. The right hand's going to come down. We're going to Ardha. Left hand to hip, and you're going to slowly unwind Ardha Chandrasana half moon pose. It's a fun transition. Soften behind the right knee, and then stack it open. Yeah. Challenging your balance, lifting from that inner left thigh. Look sideways, look up, and then breathe right here. If you want to add in a bind, bend at your left knee crease and grab your ankle, your foot, candlestick. Maybe lighten that bottom hand. I know, Steph, you like to work on balance here. You're welcome to do that. Stay drop longer. So if you took a little bind, just release regular Ardha. We're going to have fun in transitions here. So it may not be picture perfect, totally fine. We're going to step into triangle, okay? So step way back, pull up anywhere on the front of the shin, and then find triangle. If you need to reset, you reset. You come out of the pose and you find it. It's not a big deal. I have my hand on the front of my shin, right, but you may need a block to the outside of your calf. So everyone's a little different. Back leg is super charged up. It's turned on a little angle. Front leg has a little soft bend. Stay a little longer. Pull up on that front of the shin. Lift from your inner and outer thighs and feel the side obliques growing here. Take another deep breath in. On the exhale breath, you're going to hit the floor into a plank and lean on your left hand for a more traditional Vashisthasana side plank. I'm staggering the feet here. You can stack them. You can go back to the modified version that we did early in the practice. Remind yourself that your left hand should be a smidgen in front of your left shoulder just to support the upper body. Yep. And I always say, find one that you know you can hold for a bunch of breaths rather than going to like the deepest place and feeling like you're going to fall on your face. Two hips are stacked, nice and even. Plank position, no flopping, nice and slow. People want to get out of that so fast. Chaturanga. Up dog. There we go. Hips up and back, down dog. Okay, so don't even think about it. Just step your left foot forward, turn your back foot strong, and let's hit warrior two on the other side. Okay. Hit warrior two on the other side and then hold. Right. So a few breaths, just kind of get yourself together. Yeah. Back foot on an angle, tailbone drops. Good. Wrapping your thigh. Then maybe shut your eyes. Like let yourself go inward a little. It's okay. Or just pick something to focus on. Breathe. You and your breath on your mat. Keep the shape, keep the strength going, and keep the breath moving. Reach out, place a block outside a foot. Let's take our extended side angle A. Top arm straight up and over. It's like a bow and arrow, like I'm showing here. Yeah. Soften the left shoulder. Make sure it's not like rolling in. Yeah. And the outside of your left leg and the inside of your left arm are making a little marriage. Breathe. We're staying 5 more breaths. So try to enjoy it if possible. Anchor that back leg. Don't give up. Eyes go to the floor. Right hand comes down. Wasn't that bad. Peel the right heel. You're in a low lunge. You're going to spring to the top of the mat and you're going to cross your right ankle in front of your left. Okay. Baby toes will touch, heels will split apart, and then you're going to set up for this kind of like crisscross forward fold. So this side, I need to bend my knees more, release my front leg. If you don't feel that much going straight down, you're welcome to creep a little to the left, but you want to keep your hips directly over your heels. So it's not like a dramatic, it's not like you're turning, right? And then play with blocks, bending knees, and just kind of hanging down the center, letting your head go, letting it all hang out, as we like to say. Good. If you went a little left, come back to the center first. So don't just rush into knowing that you're going to half moon. You want to set it up right. So you're going to take your block in a sweet spot where you know you're a little over to the left off the edge of that left baby toe, and then you'll slowly start to unravel yourself. Yeah, because it's tricky. You got to really ground that left leg. If you want to try having your whole palm pressing flat into your mat, you may get a little bit more stability, right? Maybe you want to lighten your fingertips and take the bottom hand into a prayer. If you want to add in a little bind, you're welcome to do so. Like I'm demonstrating here, the kick goes behind you. It doesn't go up towards the sky. Always soften that bottom leg. We want to prevent ourselves from going into hyperextension. Although I don't think I'd ever go into hyperextension. Yes. Turn the bottom ribs, look sideways, look up. Some of us are more mobile though. And breathe. And if you fall, not a big deal. You just come back, you try again. If you took a little bind, just release real slow, half moon. And then here we go. We're going to transition to triangle and find it the best that you can. Okay. If you were able to do it in one swoop, great. If you need to reset it, reset it. Stack it open. There's a little bit of a feeling like you're leaning back. It's subtle. Strong anchor of that back leg, hooking in of that side ribs. I feel a nice stretch of this right hip. Two more. On the next sharp exhale breath, let's take it to the floor plank and then set up for Vashi on the right side. So Vashisthasana side plank, something that you know you can hold. Staggered feet, bottom knee dropping, top arm can reach up and over. This is great for working your obliques. Lift a little higher. No flop. Slow exhale. Hands to the floor, plank. Push up if it's there. Up dog or cobra if you got it in you. Hips up and back. Down dog. Let's keep this going. Right foot lands, crescent lunge. Let's get it done. Crescent lunge. Hands to prayer heart. Lean way out and then hook and twist. So if this bothers you, you can drop your bottom knee like I'm showing you here. And you could take it this way. You could also just take a more traditional easy twist, okay? Hooking in of that right hip. Look sideways, look up, maybe open up your arms if you feel like you've got a little bit more bandwidth. You want to lean back a tiny bit, get the crown of the head to line up with that back heel. If the leg is not down, you want to engage your back leg super strong. No, I just thought of something that we'll do. So let's twist a little deeper. 3 more breaths. You got this. Good. Hands to frame your front foot. Okay. If the knee is down like mine, I'm going to engage it up. I'm going to hug my right knee in and up, scoop up the belly, and extend the right leg up and back to a 3-legged down dog. Okay. We're going to work the core a little. Come forward, hug the right knee in and up, scoop up the belly. Extend it up and back. One more, hug the right knee in, scoop it up, and then land it to the ground for a half pigeon. Okay. We'll take a half pigeon right here. And then fold. You could rest your forehead on something when you come down. Use the strength of your body. Start to come up. Lean on the right side and swing the left leg around. It's like a little half tree, okay? The left leg is forward, the right leg is bent. The right hand behind you for sail. It's like a crossover between side plank and a back bend. Yeah, if you can get your left foot to go flush the ground, that's great. Top arm can reach up and over. Lift a little higher. Good. Exhale the breath lower down. When you hit the floor, bring the right knee forward. Take the left foot around for Ardha Matsyendrasana. It's a seated spine twist. But the way I want you guys to take it today is make sure you're not sitting on your right heel. Take your right arm and like literally hug your left leg in. This is going to stretch the piriformis. Hand behind you. Inhale, lengthen. So it's more about hugging this leg so you can get the stretch along the side. And then exhale like you're going to twist and look back. Good. Another big breath in. Come around to center. You can counter stretch. Take your blocks. I know you both have them. Unravel your legs for a supported boat pose and play with the splay of the blocks. I like mine a little forward so the eyes of the shoulders lift. Don't worry at all about having your legs completely straight. Bent knees are great because it's about getting deep into the deep part of your core. We're gonna row the boat, but hands are gonna stay on the block. So as you come down, you're gonna pick a spot that you know your legs can hover. Mine are a little closer to the floor, more challenging. Halfway, all the way up. You decide, the eyes of the shoulders lift, the belly draws in, and the lower back presses. With my hands on the blocks, I'll pull up to Bottanavasana. And this may need to slide a little forward and back as you go, up and down. Here we go. Let's lower so the blocks move back with me. And then boat, the blocks move forward. Okay, couple more. The blocks move back. I lower to low boat. The blocks push forward, high boat. One more. Low boat. High boat. Cross the ankles, step, float, crawl. Chaturanga. Come on, you got this. Up dog pulls you through. Hips up and back. Down dog. All right, left foot forward. Crescent lunge. Let's rise. The sun is out. Drag the hands to prayer. Lean way out and then hook and twist. So this is my better side, but what I'll do is I'm just going to drop down and modify it just so I can stay even in my body for today. Okay, so this is what the modified version looks like. You can also just have your hand to the instep of the foot if twisting is aggravating you. Yeah. And just breathe. There's a little lean back here. So Steph, look sideways or look up. Don't look back, because that is a tendency of rounding us in this particular posture. Grip your left hip in and keep on every exhale. You twist a little deeper, a little further, a little bit more. Hands to frame your front foot. Back knee, if it's down like mine, I'm going to lift it up. I'm going to hug my left knee in, scoop up the belly, activate my arms. I'm going to thread the left leg back and through, okay? Come forward, hug the left knee in and up, scoop up the belly. Extend it up and back. One more, third time's the charm. Come forward, hug it in, and then land it into your happy place, half pigeon pose for a lot of us. Come forward, set it up. You're here for about a minute, so just kind of melt. Going a little deeper. Few more breaths. Enjoy it while we can. Good. Use the strength of your body. Start to come up. You'll lean on your left side and swing the right leg around, a little baby tree on the ground. Left hand behind you. You'll press up into sail. Remind yourself that your left hand should be a smidgen in front of that left shoulder, right, as you lift up and back. Exhale the breath as you lower. Come out. Transitions very important. Lower slow. Left knee swings forward. Right foot hooks around. Reminding you both of your butt cheeks are down. I'm just going to hug my right leg and my right hand behind me as my inhale lengthens me up. Hug that outer hip in, stretch that outer hip, that piriformis, that whole sweet spot. Look over the shoulder and twist. Another big breath as you inhale, exhale, lengthen, twist. Great. Come back to center. You'll unravel yourself. Reach for the blocks, okay? Bottanavasana with the hands on the blocks. Eyes of the shoulders lift. The blocks are going to kind of slide forward and back a little. Lower into a Ardha Navasana. The blocks kind of move back with me. Eyes of the shoulders lift. Guys, lower back, really pressing into the mat. Navasana, blocks move forward. Ardha Navasana. It's kind of funny. Ardha Navasana. Ooh, I had a hard time getting up in that one. Last one, Ardha, hover. Let it go. Okay. These two blocks are going to save you this morning. Take them like a set of railroad tracks. Put your feet on them. Fingertips skim the backs of those blocks. Lift the hips. Bridge on blocks. Yeah. Take the first one like this before you move on. Yep. Don't look around. Not a good time. And breathe. This feels great, creating so much space along the front line. On the next exhale, start to lower your hips down. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Repeat, bridge on the blocks or full wheel. Your feet can stay on the blocks. Yep, flip the palms if you're moving on. Yep, try it. Same alignment, so it's all good. Nice. Feet in a little, inner thighs wrap in. Exhale, lift a little higher. Exhale the breath. Nice work. Come down with control. Yes, hug your knees in towards your chest. Give them a big squeeze. And reach for the outer blades of your feet for a happy baby. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, do this. Hug the knees in. Wrap the right thigh over the left. And instead of dropping your knees to the left, drop your knees over to the right. My block's in the way. So go the opposite direction, guys. Yep. And then take your right hand and kind of encourage this side of your body to stay down as your left shoulder blade comes to the floor. Use the strength of your body to come up. Keep the legs like this. Now hips a little to the right. Go the direction that feels more natural. Good. Roll to center. Uncross, left thigh. So the natural direction is to go right. We're not. Hips a little to the right, knees to the left. Yeah. You should feel this along the entire right side. Good. Use the core strength, come up, and then just move the hips a little to the left and now go the more traditional way. And just, pay attention to the little movements. Come up to center, unravel yourself. One last squeeze. And then take those blocks and set up for the next 2 minutes of Shavasana. I mean, this is why we come. So slide the blocks underneath the thighs. Make the stance really wide with your legs. Flop open here. Take a big breath in. Exhale everything out. And just let yourself go. Next minute or two, just complete stillness. Take a big breath in. Follow it up with a loud exhale breath out. Arms come up over the top of the head for a full body stretch. Hug the knees in towards the chest, a tight squeeze. And then using the strength of your body, only if you're ready to come up, rock up to a seated position. Sit up nice and tall. Hands to prayer, eyes closed, just feeling the effects of this morning's practice. Now we can really officially start our day after doing this. Bow your head, have some really good gratitude. Be grateful you're able to move and get here this morning. Lift the head, open the eyes. Namaste. Go out there, enjoy the sunshine. I'm going to do this again Friday, so see you soon.